As of the time you are hearing this recording, I just completed the campaign for Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Now, as of this moment, I have not played any of the side missions really, because I wanted to get through the overall story, because in my opinion, that's more important than just the side quests. The side quests aren't as important in my opinion. Now, will there come a time where I play them? Sure, there'll probably become a point, but honestly, I wanted to more so focus on the overall campaign of this game, because that's the real meat of it, right? But outside of that, there's a few things I'm gonna be focusing on this video. This video might not be super focused. It might seem a bit unorganized to you. I don't really have a script on front of me while making this video. I could have written down the pros and cons of this game, but honestly, I think it's better if it just comes raw from me, from the source right here, what I feel in my heart. And I'm going to be talking about three main things throughout the course of this video. These are the three most important things to me. Number one is obviously the campaign. Without the campaign, you don't have anything to work off of in a story mode game. The second thing is the combat, because if you don't have interesting gameplay, the story isn't going to really matter as much. I'm not going to care as much if I'm bored during gameplay. And number three is the characters overall. How interesting are the characters, whether it's Amanda Waller, whether it's a Suicide Squad, maybe it's some side mission characters, whoever it is you're referencing in this game, they also have to be interesting for me to care about the campaign overall. So there is, a few things I'm going to go over, like I mentioned. And I'm going to be completely honest with you guys, because I always have been, and I always will be. I don't know much about the Suicide Squad. I know about Harley Quinn, because obviously I'm a Batman fan, as you guys can tell by this channel. Same thing with Deadshot. I am familiar with him. The rest of them, King Shark, Captain Boomerang, don't know a lot about them. But I will give my overall thoughts on all four of these characters. I will give my thoughts on the overall story and gameplay. Little spoiler alert. I actually did not hate this game at all. I did not think it was a bad game. I wouldn't go as far as to say that it was as good as the Arkham games, but I would definitely say that these were very good games. Definitely overhated considering how everyone treated this game. Because honestly, in my opinion, I think these games were kind of hated based on overall motion, based on a couple different factors. First of all, a lot of these fans were Batman Arkham fans, because this was made by the same company, Rocksteady, that made 3 of the 4 Batman Arkham games. So a lot of people were upset that Batman was killed. So I think people kind of got turned off by this game because Batman was killed and couldn't actually look at the game for what it is. And this might turn into a Batman Arkham Origins type situation where in 5-10 years time, this game's going to be looked at a lot more favorably. And I think a lot more people are probably going to realize this game is actually a lot better than they gave it credit for. I'm also going to go into the graphics and the world design in this game as well. I'm going to talk about everything in this video, things I liked and the things I didn't like. So, without wasting any more of your time, let's get into this. Like I said, the most important thing for these types of games is the overall campaign in itself. Now, there is pros and cons to this story overall. I thought the characters were actually kind of interesting. Now, if you're talking about just the Suicide Squad in itself, I would say that Deadshot was not the most interesting character in cutscenes overall. He didn't have a whole lot to say. He was the smartest one for sure out of the bunch, but he also was just not very interesting as a person overall. Harley Quinn was extremely dumb and annoying, and that was like her entire personality. Her entire personality was basically being a dumb blonde. That was basically what it was. Captain Boomerang seemed like he was trying too hard to be funny. And I thought he was kind of funny at certain points, but he was usually funny, when he wasn't trying so hard to be funny. But he always was trying to be witty. He was trying to be like Spider-Man, but it just wasn't working for him. He wasn't really that funny. He was trying to be comedic at times where being comedic wasn't necessary. Now, my personal favorite, just in terms of, how the characters were, out of the bunch was Captain Shark. Or King Shark, excuse me. Not Captain Shark. King Shark. I like both names, though, personally. But King Shark was really funny just because of how dumb he was, right? He was, so dumb and unaware of, how sarcasm works that he was just, so funny to watch. I don't know if it was just me. Maybe that's what he's like in the movies and the comic books and stuff. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not too familiar with these characters. But I thought he was extremely funny. He had me cracking up a few times. I'm not gonna lie. Now, if you're just talking about the overall campaign, I'm gonna be 100% honest with you guys, like I said. I thought the campaign was decent. I would give it a 6 out of 10. There were times where I was really excited to play the game, and times where I just didn't care. There were certain moments, like killing the Justice League, having those boss battles were elite. Now, this kind of ties into story, it ties into gameplay, it ties into characters. This is one of those things that ties into everything at one time. But the overall boss battles in this game, I really enjoyed. Specifically the Justice League. The Brainiac one, I didn't care for that one as much. I'm going to be honest, and I'm going to explain why later. But the times where we were taking on the overall Justice League, the bosses, Superman, Batman, Green Lantern, The Flash, those were extremely entertaining. And the overall plot line of these superheroes whose minds have been corrupted by Brainiac, and you know that they're not there, and you know that if they were fully aware of what they were doing, they would completely stop it immediately, but their brains got corrupted. It's a good concept, and I'm not here to hate on that. The thing is, it seemed like there was just a lot of filler in the story. It seemed like there was just a lot of forgettable moments that took this game from something that could have been elite into something that was it was decent, right? It was a good game. The game ran extremely well. The gameplay was very good in this game. It's just that there was a lot of moments in this game that were extremely forgettable. Early on you go and, you get Penguin, you bring him back to the Hall of Justice, but you don't really do anything with him. The same thing with the kid version of Poison Ivy, because she's back for some reason. Like, if you were going to go snatch a Batman Arkham villain, why does it have to be her? She didn't really help you very much throughout the course of the story and wasn't very useful. It was just kind of annoying at times. I don't know. Maybe I was the only one who didn't like her that much. Now, the forgettableness and stuff like that, I can totally forgive that, because I understand that sometimes you need filler in these types of games in order for them to get on longer, right? I completely understand that. I'm not crapping on the developers for that. What I am going to crap on them for is one thing in particular, and it's just something that's grinded my gears this whole time, and maybe I'm the only one once again. I don't want to, put words into anyone else's mouth, because I understand different things bother different people, but any type of mission that involved escorting somebody was a complete pain to deal with. It felt like something out of, GTA 5, but again, even those types of missions would have been extremely forgettable in the game. And these types of things just bother me so much, having to escort somebody. You make it 100 meters, and then bang, you have to fight somebody. Oh, escort them another 100 meters. Oh, then you have to fight somebody. It just got extremely repetitive and annoying. Like, the first time we did it with Lex Luthor, I was completely fine with it. Or should I say Lex Luthor 2. I was completely fine with it. After that, I just lost any sort of interest in doing those types of missions. Even though the campaign forced me to, in order to continue on with the story. I just didn't care for it, though. Because it was extremely boring. I wanted to, do missions where I had to prepare to take on the big guys. Maybe some sort of training. Something else that didn't just feel like 15-20 minutes of filler of something that was completely boring. If it's filler, but I'm at least doing something interesting, then fair enough. I completely understand that. You want the game to be longer. You want people to enjoy the game more and spend more time on it. I understand that. But at least put something in there that's more entertaining overall. Now, I understand why the story gets crap. It's not a very memorable story. There's not a whole lot of replayability here. But what I will say is the campaign isn't awful. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen. And in my opinion, the boss battles in this game were actually really phenomenal. And you know when a boss battle is really good? Is when you die at least one time playing each boss battle. I did not beat any of the bosses on the first try. Now, granted, I was playing on the hardest difficulty. Doing that first time around, that might be bound to happen regardless. But the bosses gave me a really good run for my money. Especially considering the fact that it wasn't like they needed a bunch of mini minions. Because Brainiac did. He needed a bunch of mini minions to help him. I never died to Brainiac, but I'm talking about just the Justice League in itself. I died to each and every one of them at least once. Brainiac, I didn't die, but he had a bunch of mini minions. But the mini minions that people will have are annoying. And when I say mini minions, I'm just talking about goons, the little thugs, to help them out so that they could try to kill you. But the big bosses didn't even need that to kill me. It wasn't the little bombs from Green Lantern. It wasn't, the little purple flying things from Batman. It was the villains themselves that were killing me each and every time. And they were giving me a good run for my money, and I was getting extremely frustrated. So in terms of the boss battles in this game, I actually thought they were very well executed. I thought they were fantastic. They gave me a really good run for my money. They were really difficult and challenging and had me frustrated. That is exactly what they're supposed to do. But I don't know, I haven't seen any sort of reviews on this, so I don't know if this is a positive or negative seen in the community. I don't know if that's a hot take or not. But me personally, I really like the boss battles, and I thought they were very well executed. But if you want to talk about just the general combat, where you're fighting just the aliens, the basic... And I want to be completely honest, like I said before, I did spend this entire game playing as Deadshot. Because in the tutorial, I played as all four of them. I like Deadshot the most, so I just decided to go with Deadshot. Maybe, I don't know what it is about him. Maybe his gameplay is just the most smooth. I don't know what most people chose, to be honest with you. But I honestly thought Deadshot was the best, so let's go with him. And Deadshot was extremely well used in this game, in my opinion. I can't speak on the gameplay and the rest of them too much, because I didn't use them in the campaign. Because honestly, I didn't think that was too relevant overall in my review. Yes, you could say I could be reviewing all the characters' gameplay overall, but honestly, that is something I could save for another day. I've already gone over the 4 characters in this game that you can play as in terms of just how interesting they are. Now, if I want to talk about someone like Amanda Waller, for instance, there was nothing too crazy about her. She's kind of the same that she usually is. She's a woman who is determined to stop the criminals, but she operates by means of any means necessary. She doesn't care how it gets done. She just wants to see the job get done. That's all she cares about. Rick Flag, I know he's in the Suicide Squad movie. Don't know much about him, though. I'm not too familiar with his character. As for Penguin, he was kind of the same little coward he usually is when you see him in person. Only talks a big game over the phone. Poison Ivy, didn't really care for her. There's not really a whole lot of characters for me to talk about, but there is one more thing I want to talk about, and that is the Brainiac mission. Because I spent a couple days, like, kind of flustered by this entire thing with Brainiac that I do not like whatsoever. And that is, in order to fight Brainiac, it says that you have to complete, like, a certain list of objectives. Like, certain, like, things. Like, kill this many people, complete this many types of kills, do this and do that. And I don't like when story mode games do that. Unless it's for a specific purpose, like, you have to pick up this weapon in order to fight this boss, because that's the only way to kill them. But it wasn't like that. It was like, get this many kills, throw this many grenades at people and kill them, use shield harvest to kill this many people. And I had to spend some type of currency, I forget the type of currency it was, but I had to spend some type of currency just to be able to play the final boss on the easiest difficulty. And that is absolutely ridiculous. I should not have to do something like that in order to complete a story mode. There are still 12 other Brainiacs for me to fight as I'm making this video. Am I going to do it? I doubt it. I honestly have no desire to want to do anything like that. One thing I almost completely forgot to go over really quickly was the fact that the Riddlers in this game. There's Riddles and Riddler trophies, and I don't think you guys understand how quickly my PTSD came back from having to collect hundreds and thousands of Riddler trophies. Oh my gosh, I literally saw this and thought, there is no way I'm gonna do this. There might come a time where I go and complete them. I don't think it's as many as the Arkham games, but I don't care. I don't want to pick up one more Riddler trophy ever again. Those are stupid. I don't like them. I don't ever want to do that again. This is something that's got me completely flustered to this very day. And I am very, very upset at the game for taunting me with something like that. And that is pretty much all I have to say about the Suicide Squad game. In case you want the quick recap, the story was decent but overall forgettable. The characters, same thing, they were pretty good, but overall forgettable, except for King Shark. I thought he was pretty funny. But the gameplay was extremely good, the combat was good, the boss battles are great, and the best part about this game by far, just way too forgiving for me personally. However, I am going to tell you guys this right now. This game is a lot better than I think a lot of people give it credit for. A lot of people hate on this game. I don't understand why. I think it's a pretty decent game. I think it's actually like pretty good. The graphics are so good in this game. The world detail looks absolutely amazing. Everything is designed beautifully and everything in this game. So I don't understand why people are hating on this game overall. But overall, this game is probably a decent like 6 or I would say a 7 out of 10. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10 here. Just in my personal opinion. Way too overhated. I think it's going to be one of those games that goes underappreciated. And as time goes on, it's going to be more and more appreciated. Like Batman Arkham Origins. That's what I think. Mark my words. Am I going to play it again anytime soon? Probably not. But at least I could say I've played it and I've beaten it. Let me know your guys' favorite boss battle, least favorite boss battle in this game. Let me know your favorite and least favorite aspects about this game overall. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe for more. I got plenty more videos coming your way. And this might seem like a short review, but to be honest, this video has actually gone on longer than I thought it would. Because I'm not someone who is very organized in my thoughts. I'm very all over the place, but honestly, I think that's what makes my content unique, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have an amazing day. Stay safe, and I'll see you later. Peace!